Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein. Focus question. How can our experiences and our curiosity about things shape our life? Deeply hidden things. Knowledge of what it does not open the door directly to what should be. When Albert Einstein was 5 years old, his father showed him a magnetic compass. Einstein was curious. Why did the compass's needle stay still while his father turned its casing around and around? Einstein was too young to know the answer back then. Later on, he wrote that the compass had taught him an important lesson, that something deeply hidden was behind things. That curious little boy grew up to become a curious scientist. He spent his life trying to identify that something. In doing so, Albert Einstein forever changed the way people think about the universe. A talented, curious boy. A table, a chair, a bowl of fruit, and a violin. What else does a man need to be happy? Albert Einstein was born in March 14, 1879, in a small town of Ulm, Germany. Einstein's family had a strong influence on his life. His younger sister, Maja, was his closest childhood friend. His mother, Pauline, encouraged Albert to take up the violin when he was 6. His violin would be a constant companion for the rest of his life. Do you know? As a child, Einstein has a curious speech habit. Whatever he said out loud, he would then say again to himself in a very quiet voice. He eventually outgrew this habit and became an accomplished public speaker. Einstein's father and 2 of his uncles introduced Einstein to math and science when he was young and taught him algebra by making it into a game. A family friend brought him several books about science and mathematics. Einstein would read the books for hours at a time. He especially liked the book about geometry. Do you know? As a child, Einstein has a curious speech habit. Whatever he said out loud, he would then say again to himself in a very quiet voice. He eventually outgrew this habit and became an accomplished public speaker. Teaching should be such that what is offered are perceived as a valuable gift and not be as a hard duty. In school, Einstein's talent for math and science was clear. However, he questioned the way the school taught him. To young Einstein, the teachers just drilled their students to memorize information. Einstein liked to think creativity, but not memorized. When he was only 17 years old, Einstein was accepted at one of the best scientific universities in Europe. Once again, Einstein's curiosity about how and why things worked led him to do things his own way. He often skipped classes to spend more time on his own ideas. His professors thought Einstein might have a bright future if he would do as he was told. Imagination is more important than knowledge. The patent office. Einstein had trouble finding a job after finishing school in 1100s. His independence and curiosity made him unpopular with the teacher who could help him find work. In 1902, he took a job in a patent office in Bern, Switzerland. His job was to make such that devices submitted for patents worked the way their inventors said they did. The job in the patent office allowed Einstein to do what he did best: pursue his curiosity and question established ideas. On his first day at work, Einstein's boss told him, "When you pick up an application, think that anything the inventor says is wrong." Do you know? Einstein himself had several patents. One patent was for a compass that was not affected by the presence of large amounts of iron. The compass became standard equipment of on metal ships and submarines. He also held a patent for a quieter, safer pump for refrigerators. The money and work schedule gave Einstein the freedom to pursue his own ideas. In his spare time, he met with a group of friends who shared his curiosity about scientific ideas. They called themselves the Olympia Academy. It was during these years of steady work and strong friendships that Einstein began working on ideas that would change science forever. The Miracle Year. By 1905, Einstein had worked in the patent work for 3 years. During that time, he developed new scientific theories. He soon felt confident enough in his ideas to share them. Einstein sent papers explaining his ideas to the leading German scientific journal of the time. The journal published the first of these papers in March 1905. Four more soon followed. Einstein's first paper explained that light is and how it acts. The second and third papers proved the existence of tiny parts of matter called molecules and atoms, and described how they moved. The final two papers offered new explanations of the relationships among space, time, and objects in motion. Scientists are astounded by what he wrote. In 6 months, Einstein changed the way they had thought about the universe for over 200 years. They were amazed that these ideas came from a curious 26-year-old patent clerk instead of a professor of physics. Einstein's career in science began to take off. He received invitations to explain his new ideas at scientific meetings. In 1905, Nobel Prize winner in physics contacted Einstein to congratulate him. A well-known professor of physics named Max Planck even began to teach Einstein's ideas to his students. In time, 1905 came to be known as Einstein's Miracle Year. A rising star. The most comprehensible thing about the world is that it is comprehensible. In 1909, Einstein finally received an offer to teach at a university. He took the job but ended up teaching at different schools over the next few years. He was searching for the ideal place for his research. Meanwhile, he continued to develop his earlier ideas. It was hard work, and Einstein often thought he was on the wrong track. His ideas were so new and unfamiliar that he said he often thought he was losing his mind. Then, in 1915, he had a breakthrough. He finally figured out how to combine his earlier ideas with one system. He called the system the general theory of relativity. Einstein's ideas once again excited scientists around the world. In 1919, British scientists tested his theory by measuring the position of a star during a solar eclipse. If Einstein was correct, the star would appear to be in one position while it was actually in another. The star appeared almost actually where Einstein said it would be. Newspaper headlines around the world announced the findings. Overnight, Albert Einstein became one of the most famous people in the world. Not anyone was pleased with Einstein. Many scientists had built their careers on ideas that Einstein disproved. Others did not want to believe Einstein's theories because they were difficult to test. Einstein knew his theories were not perfect. Yet, with each new paper, more people came to understand the importance of Einstein's work. The uses of fame. Try not to become a man of success, but a man of value. As Einstein's fame grew, he demanded for interviews, photographs, speeches, and writings. Einstein had mixed feelings about all this attention. These demands took up time he could have spent on other things. At the same time, Einstein knew that fame would help him bring his ideas to more people. Einstein used his fame to draw attention to issues he carried about. One of only 3 scientists who signed a letter against Germany taking part in World War I. More than 100 scientists had signed a letter of support for the war. You cannot simultaneously prevent and prepare for war. Do you know? in 1930s, Einstein began to publish a series of articles for general audiences titled The World as I See It. The collection covered topics from war to liberty to progress in education, not just science. He also worked with international groups working for peace. He wrote often about his anti-war beliefs. When magazines in the United States credited Einstein with helping create the atomic bomb, he pushed back. Also, his scientific discoveries were used by others to create the bomb. Einstein did not participate in the project. He actually signed a letter to President Franklin Roosevelt warning of the bomb's potential for destruction. Coming to America. The most important motive for work in school and in life is pleasure in work, pleasure in its result, and the knowledge of the value of the results to the community. Despite the efforts of Einstein and others to promote peace, Germany moved closer to war in 1930s. Einstein left Germany in 1933. He took a job at the Institute for Advanced Study in the United States. Einstein and his family soon became part of the close-knit community in Princeton, New Jersey. When out-of-town visitors wanted to know where he lived, townspeople would ask, "Are you expected?" These questions kept strangers from bothering Einstein at home. For the next 22 years, Einstein continued working to expand his ideas into new areas. He believed he could develop a new theory that would unify his ideas with the latest theories. He worked as hard as he ever had, yet he never achieved the sort of breakthroughs he had during the miracle year or with his general theory of relativity. Despite the lack of new breakthroughs, he continued to give speeches, write articles, and meet regularly with fellow scientists. Einstein's influence. Few are those who see with their own eyes and feel with their own hearts. Einstein's curiosity led to the creation of many useful products. For example, Einstein's ideas that led scientists to develop new ways to control light. This development eventually led to television cameras, remote controls, and flat-screen computers. Einstein was also the first person to think of laser light. Laser light is now used in CDs, DVDs, and store checkout equipment. His proof of the existence of atoms and molecules led to the creation of improvement of a wide range of products. Those products include shaving cream, toothpaste, personal computers, portable phones, and more. Einstein's scientific ideas continue to influence new theories. Current ideas about the origins of the universe, the nature of space, and strange objects called black holes are all the results of Einstein's work. The important thing is to never stop questioning. A life well lived. Einstein once said, "The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious." It is enough to try to understand a little of these mysteries every day. Until his death on April 18, 1955, Einstein's curiosity led him to work to understand nature's greatest mysteries. In doing so, he changed the way people think about time, space, energy, and matter, the foundations of the universe.